This week on Preston Outdoors, we're going to talk about the Finesse Jigs. Like I said, this week we're going to talk about the Finesse Jig. This is basically a finesse football jig. This one is in, I believe it's PB&J, peanut butter and jelly. And then got a black and blue one with a black and blue chunk on the back of it. Now this technique for me is strictly cold water or heavy pressured situations. Most of the time I don't even use something like this when it's good fishing conditions. Like I said, when I'm fishing a lake that's got a lot of pressure on it and clear water, because this is a smaller size bait, I'm going to be throwing this. But if it's a dirty water situation, or fishing isn't real pressure or the water isn't real cold, I'm not going to use these baits. And only two situations that I'm using a finesse jig in: cold water situations, heavy pressure situations. But then there's one outlier that I'm going to use no matter what, and that's when I'm smallmouth fishing. Targeting smallmouth bass, a lot of times, unless they're on really big appetite, like what they fish with on like Mille Lacs Lake in Minnesota, the pros, they use 3/4 ounce football jigs, just some big meaty jigs that they would also use for largemouth. I'm going to stick to use one of these heavier style finesse jigs right away, just to catch the fish while they're moving up. Again, it's in colder water. If it's warmer water, I'm going to be using a jerkbait or something else. But again, a lot of times I'm going to have one of these tied on, most likely in this brown color, when I'm fishing smallmouth. Just mentioned, I have three colors that I'm going to use. This is called a PB&J. It's basically brown with some other colors, black in there, stuff like that, representing a crawfish. The other one I'm going to use, it's got brown strands in it, but it's a green pumpkin. And the third color, which, I have this color, black and blue, in almost every jig I have. And then most of the time I'm going to be using either the Yum Craw Bug, it's a Yum Baits, it's called a Craw Bug, or craw, or whatever they call it. This has no flappers in it, real subtle, but again gives off your bright orange and browns colors for representing crayfish. Or I'm going to use, like I have here on this black and blue one, a chunk style trailer. So again, these are, it says it in the name, Finesse Jig. I'm going to be using finesse presentations, lighter line, more than likely using fluorocarbon line. Again, your 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon, real light. Cast it out. I'm not going to do much hopping with this bait. I'm going to do a lot of dragging. The only time I'll hop it is if I drag, hit a piece of cover, and then hop it a little bit, because even though the trunk trailer or this craw bug trailer don't give off a lot of swimming action, when I'm dragging it along the bottom and I bump something, it'll be going, and then when it bumps, this thing will flare up and then drop back down. So if there's a fish looking at it, he looks at it flaring, then a little hop will cause this tail to flare up again. A lot of times that's when I'm going to get my bites in the cold water. Now, it's not really a hop like in the summer where you hop it. It's just kind of a little pop with the rod tip, which causes this thing to just doop. That's all it does. Now right now this trailer isn't floating up like it would in the water. Naturally it'd be sitting right about here, and so then when I just give it that little doop, it's just going to go whoop, give it a little pop, and that's going to get you your bites. Again, I only have about 5 or 6 of these jigs in my jig box because I don't use them all that much. It's just another style of jig and presentation that I like to use in two main situations, whereas a normal size jig, or a jig in general, can be used in all kinds of situations. It's, in my opinion, the most versatile bait you can have in your tackle box. Well, thank you guys for watching this week's tackle video about the Finesse football jig. Again, this next 2 weeks here after this, we'll be digging in my jig tackle box. Next week we're going to be talking about the swim jig and my applications with that. So I hope you learned something. If you haven't already, up in the iCards here going off in the video, there are going to be links to the videos from the past weeks. And I just got my boat back, so hopefully in the next coming weeks we're going to get some fishing videos up for you, or even some tackle tip videos on the water and how I use them with rod and reel combos and line combos and stuff like that. So it's a lot of exciting stuff coming your guys' way. Thanks for subscribing already. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. And again, thanks for watching Preston Outdoors.